What's going on, everybody? This is Al from PlaybookGamer.com, and today we're going to look at some of the playbook things I noticed in the latest gameplay video for College Football 25. They released that today as I'm working on this video. It's like a 21-minute video, just more gameplay, like a couple of head-to-head games, just enough to kind of whet the palate, more or less. I saw some really cool stuff in there. I'm not going to overjudge how blockers are blocking and how catches are being made. I just really want to focus on the playbook stuff. And besides, who knows what build they are playing with at the time when they made this video. But I'm really excited about the playbook stuff. So we're going to look at play call screens, some new formations, at least to me. Forgive me, I don't play Madden super hard. I know it's got all the latest formations, and it's been a while since I played 14. And a lot of this stuff may already have been in these games, but I still want to point out a few things that at least caught my eye. So we're going to start off with this first screenshot, and I'm really just going to focus on screenshots throughout this whole thing. And this is the play call screen. We've seen this already in a couple of past videos, but this is the Michigan playbook. They are in, this is their shotgun formations, or at least the bulk of them. Looks like a wing pair, wing tight Z, wing slot offset, and so on and so forth. So it looks like they're in tray offset. And I really like the aesthetic of every bit of this. I like that they got the formation name and the play right below that. That's actually going to be easier for me to capture playbooks. On top of it, it'll be easier for you when you look at the playbooks when I put all this stuff on the website. Now, I think it's really interesting how they got a lot of elongated routes. You're going to notice that, like, really hard flats and digs and such. But either way, this is pretty cool little play. Shot, slot, post, inside zone, slot under. Looks like this formation's got 15 plays in it, which is pretty typical. All these playbooks are going to be really different in terms of the amount of plays they have for each formation and such. But anyway, this is pretty cool. You look here at the bottom, you can add and remove your favorite plays. That's a neat little feature. I don't know if this carries over into the next game. I assume it does. Forgive me, I'm pretty sure this is in Madden. But be able to select your favorite plays, and then you can go to your favorites, and they're the all right there, which is pretty nice. Then you got audibles. You can flip the play, and of course, you got coach adjustments. You look up here on the defensive side of things, they don't have team-specific defensive playbooks. They just have the 4-3 playbook, the nickel, the this, the that, and the other. But here it's going to show like they're looking at the nickel formations, and over here you just select your formation within nickel. Looks like there's 27 plays in the nickel over formation. So none of this is really new per se, but I just think it's, again, a really nice aesthetic. I wish the screen wasn't here. I'd like to kind of see what they got going on right there, but they also got the same adjustments as we're going to see here right here. So this is another new play call screen in terms of just like new plays and such. So this is the pistol U off formation. And it looks like Michigan, in their playbook, they only have one pistol formation. Otherwise, we would see all the pistol formations right there. So they got U off, and it's just pretty much ace big / normal, depending which game you play, but from the pistol. But look how elongated these flat routes are. I think that is hilarious. That at least shows you, hey, that dude is running towards the sideline, and that's when he'll stop. He may even run up the field once he hits the sideline. Who knows? But anyway, I just think that's a different way to go about doing it. Then you got halfback slam, Z-spot. Z-spot's a very common old school West Coast concept. But again, nothing really changes down here, but I do want to mention this part right here for the defense. They mentioned this in the video and how you can cover, disguise your shells and such. So if you're going to select cover one, if you're going to select this play right here, but maybe you want to go to your shell, you may want to change that cover 0 or cover 3 or just kind of whatever. I'm curious to see how the CPU will handle this. Now, I'm not a big online guy, but I'm guessing the CPU will have just as hard or easy time trying to figure out what coverage is actually being thrown out there. But anyway, you can do this pre-play, which I like. You don't have to wait until you actually get to the line of scrimmage and start doing that stuff. But here we got more plays from the 4-4 formation. You got basic cover 3, cover 1, engage 8. None of this is truly new, and it looks like there's like 9 plays out of that little formation. So if you want the pistol of any kind, you probably don't want to use the Michigan playbook. All right, so here's a few more. We are still in the pistol U off formation. Here's a new play, tight end cross. If you got a couple good tight ends, I can see how that would be pretty good. I've always wondered, and somebody could put this in the comment section, I never understood the primary receiver purpose. Like, it's not like the play plays better if you were using or looking at him as your first read. I don't know. I've just never used that. And primary receiver has been around for like 20 years back in the older Madden games. I just never understood why that's still in there. Maybe that just, again, gives you a first read to pay attention to. I don't know. Somebody maybe explain that to me. Maybe the play plays better or something if you focus on that guy first and then you go on to another read. But who knows? So we got a couple other ones. Again, Crash 3, Cover 2, Invert. That's an interesting one as well. Here we got another play call screen. This is an interesting one, I thought. Notice we got the defense at the bottom and offense at the top. Now, forgive me, again, this may have been in the later Madden games, but this tells me, like, when you're playing local with a buddy, if you're player 2, your information is always at the top. That's what that tells me. I could be dead wrong on that. Somebody can correct me if they need to. But anyway, I think that's actually a pretty smart idea. That way you don't have to think, oh yeah, okay, I'm on offense now, I got to look at the bottom. Or I'm on defense, I got to go up to the top. No, if you're player 2, you can always just stare at the top and all your playbook information is right there. But we do have some new stuff right here. This one is just interesting. It just says gun. Double cross. I don't know if it's gun something. To me, notice the formation is not highlighted. I think they are going by coach suggestion, maybe. We don't know because this thing is covering it up. But anyway, we got a double cross. We got a corner strike. A nice little high-low smash concept on either side. This is shallow cross, more or less, with a backside mills concept. And you got more defensive stuff down here. 4-3 over stuff. You got cover one hole. Outside linebacker, fire man, and you got good old Tampa 2, go Qs. So this is, again, pretty cool stuff. Again, I just get really excited when I see the little things like that. Here we got on the same play call screen, but they switched to a few more plays. Here we got Y sail. This is a unique combination of routes. I've never seen that before in any of these games, even in like Madden 24. I think that's a unique combination. Of course, you got a basic smash concept on the right side, but either way, Y sail, there it is. You got slot under. I think we looked at this maybe a little earlier from the gun trio, trips over, trip something. I forgot what it was called. Either way, pretty cool. You see right there. And now let's go over to the field and we can actually look at, see what some of these formations look like on the field. Now, this is one of the first screenshots they showed in the video. And I'm just kind of looking at some of these plays. Like you got the go route with a flag and an out underneath it. It's a little flood concept with a halfback going over here. So what's interesting, they call this guy the primary receiver. So anybody who's played the latest Madden games, if you've ever noticed, it's a common trend. The weakest part of any defense is right here or right here. If you notice, any one of those Madden guru guys, they always would make 6 different hot route adjustments, but would ultimately end up doing one thing: to occupy safety up top, occupy a corner down here, leaving this guy wide open in this area right here. I hope that is not in this game. Please do not make it cheese to where we all know, hey, just attack this area. It can't be beat whether it's man or zone. I'm guessing it's probably not in there, but I just kind of noticed that from this. But either way, that's a cool little play right there. I think that's pretty neat. But look at the formation itself. This is brand new to me. Again, I'm kind of an old school gamer. I don't know what formation that is, but I love the quads look. To one side, you got 2 tight ends, 2 receivers with a halfback. Technically, that's a quintuple look. That's a 5-sided look. All 5 of these guys are on one side. Really neat. Again, I think that's just pretty cool. Just looking over here on the show play, you got a couple, actually 3 different bluff play calls, which I think is pretty neat. And you can also actually show the play art. I guess none of this will come into effect if you like are playing the CPU or anything. Here we have another formation. I think I saw this in one of the previous gameplay videos where you got triple stack tight ends on one side, which I think is pretty neat. This could very well be just in Michigan's playbook. My guess it's in a handful of others. But anyway, I think that's a pretty unique formation, whether it's you're on the goal line, if you just need some short yardage. But it probably has some cool little passing concepts to go with it as well. Next up, we got one that I've seen before. This is like, when I look at this, I'm thinking of shotgun wing T type stuff where you can get some pulling guards going to the right side and you got like a backside screen if you wanted to do that. But it looks like these receivers are stacked. That's new to me as well. And it looks like the halfback's offset a little bit. I don't know what this formation is called. Somebody can maybe say that in the comments. But either way, that looks pretty cool. And I'm looking at the defense to see if they're seeing anything weird. I do like the fact that they are taking the corners on the line and some that are off the line a little bit. Because like, notice this corner right here looks like they're playing nickel. And it looks like this corner is much closer to the line of scrimmage than these two guys are. So I'm all for stuff like that. I don't always want to see just even corners across the board. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of different looks from the defense. Next up, we got a pistol formation. This is from Penn State's playbook, I'm assuming. And this is like a pistol wide trips offset. That's just my guess because you got the offset tied in and such. But we all know there's going to be plenty of pistol in here. So that looks pretty cool. Let's see. Then we got another one. This is pretty much gun spread, but they flipped it. But this could be like an offset look with, you notice the, this is technically the Z receiver. Or yes, no, but technically I guess it's the X. Then you got the Y over here. Either way, just another formation I just recognized. And then you got the same bluff play call screen. Here is another unique formation. I showed this one instead of the one that's more zoomed in because we actually got a wide receiver right here and we got the rest of them right there. So this is a really cool goal line formation, in my opinion. Or you can use it whenever you feel like it. But anyway, they ran a little speed option on that play, and that looked pretty cool as well. And then we have another formation. This is kind of a trips bunch, kind of, sort of, but with the halfback to the same side as the bunch. So I'm curious to see what that one's going to be called. Again, this may not be a new formation at all, but it looks like maybe by default, they got the tight end in there. So this is probably just like an 11 personnel look. I can't imagine when they played these two games in this video, they used a lot of sub packages. I could be wrong. Who knows? But either way, I'm just little things that I kind of look to see. It looks like they're running a basic 4-3, and you notice these two corners on either side. One of them is doing a little bump and run on one end, and usually the far side of the field, normally you'll see the cornerback back off of the receiver on this side. Of course, they're in a bunch, so he's kind of slagging off anyways. But anyway, you're going to see this pretty normal. If you're on the right hash, just kind of expect to see a corner bump and run over here on the short side with the corner backed off on the other. Now, this is pretty interesting. Let's talk about some other pre-play things. Now, part of this video, they looked at some of the turbo stuff. This is like as fast as you could possibly go in this game. Turbo. So when you look at turbo, you're running towards the line, you're trying to snap the ball. You got a few options, and I assume these will all be different per playbook, but you can go quickly to stick, and I think that's the play he selected by the completion he had right afterwards. Inside zone, you can fake spike ball. Then you got turbo play. They talked just briefly about this, but I think this is interesting. I don't know if it just gives you like a random play. I don't know. I'm really curious to play with that because, as you know, I'm a Tennessee fan. We run the veer and shoot, and turbo is just kind of what we do the whole time. So I'm really curious to see what all that is like. And then for the defense, it gives you some basics concepts to work with while the offense is in turbo mode. Here is some wide receiver hot routes I thought was interesting. None of these are really new. We actually saw this in the first gameplay deep dive video, but just the amount of wide receiver routes we have to work with, I think is incredible. I could probably just spend days just kind of thinking about some concepts used. Now, I'm not going to be one of those Madden guys who has to make 6 adjustments before every snap. I don't want to do that. But over time, we're all going to eventually find out how some of these routes just work a whole lot better than others, especially against certain coverages. But I really like, and all this is going to change depending on which receiver you pick. So if you're picking a slot receiver, it could be a little bit different than the outside receiver. But I like that they throw in the Bang 8. Triple option, I'm pretty sure that is option or the choice related stuff, option routes, things of that nature. But again, you got your left joystick, your right joystick, you got your D-pad. Then you got all of your L1s or your Ls and R2s, your trigger buttons. Just a lot of options when it comes to wide receiver routes. And last but not least, I want to briefly talk about custom stems. We saw a little bit of this in the video where you can literally just adjust this to the exact length you want. This will take us some getting used to, but I think it's really neat. So you notice here's the first down marker. There's nothing stopping you from running a 30-yard curl route. You can do it if you want to. You just select that route in your hot routes, and then you'd select custom stem, and you can just go up and down and get it to exactly the way you want it. This will be a very important hot route for sure, especially on your 3rd and longs and such. All right, so this was a quick video, nothing too crazy or whatnot, but I just wanted to cover some things that I cared about. I hope you get a little something from it, and I'll talk to you guys later.